Hello, my villainous friends. Welcome to the Hydra Lab. We are counting down the top 10 fountainable characters in Marvel Strike Force for June of 2021. Some big shifts to the meta over the past few months. So this list has looked very, very different over the past month. And yeah, this month is no exception. So if you want to see where your favorite characters are ranking this month, what are some T4 and Iso-8 recommendations, and what are some honorable mentions, some characters that I wanted to be on this list that didn't quite make it? Well, that's what we're doing in this video. And if you're ready for all of that, guys, find that like button and let's go smash.
ValleyFlyin.
Hello, welcome back, Valley Maniacs. I am ValleyFlyin. Welcome back to the ValleyFlyin channel and your top 10 fountainable characters for June of 2021. We have been doing this list for a while now, and yes, this list is looking a lot different than last month. Now, if this is your first time here, make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell so you get notified as soon as there is a new Marvel Strike Force video up or a new Marvel Future Revolution video up. We are covering both of these games on this channel, guys. Very, very excited for some what is happening, and hopefully we get some great changes coming to Marvel Strike Force. I'm still very cautious with my optimism, but my salt is on hold for this video because these are exciting videos. These are the characters that are fun in Marvel Strike Force right now, and these are the characters that are making a difference for me in my roster right now. Now, if you're a newer player, more of a mid-game player, these characters, you're eventually going to want them, but they may not be as difference-making. You may not be using them as much in the earlier stages of the game as I am right now, and this list is highly subjective, based not just on where I feel these characters are valuable, but also my usage over the past month. So great, there's some great characters with great kits out there, but if they're not getting a lot of use in that end game, they're not going to be ranked very high on this list. So let's go check out this list and see who is not eligible for this list, because I needed to draw the line somewhere. What makes a character free to play? What makes a character fountable? And this is where the line was drawn, guys. Legendary characters not included, but the permanent legendary characters are. So are there any good enough to make this list? We also have these Dark Dimension characters, our milestone characters, still waiting on seeing who the next milestone character will be. These characters in orbs, Domino, Scream, they're not available in a normal means of farming. They're available in orbs, so they're not eligible. And all of our newer characters are not eligible as well, including this new Infinity Watch team that looks very, very strong. Now, what is the value in this list? Well, I value a few different game modes. Arena, if they're valuable in Arena, this character is going to get a lot more weight in this ranking. So Arena, Doom Raids are also very important. I know they're very restrictive now. They're not what they once were. And I know there's a lot of alliances that used to be doing that before this update happened that are not able to enter the Doom Raids, but eventually, and hopefully they lift some of these restrictions on the Iso-8 or change some of these restrictions on Iso-8, that Doom Raids are still going to be valuable to an abundance of alliances out there. But Greek Raids are also important. War offense is important. War defense is important. And then some of these Dark Dimension characters as well. Now, if your list may look totally different than mine based on your usage, not just on their kits. So let me know if you have a difference of the list. But let's clear this off and talk about some characters that were recently made available. We had 3 of them. Yo-Yo recently went to the raid store, so she is eligible for this list now. It has been a long time that she's been in a game that finally she's eligible for this list. LONGSHOT was recently added to the war store. No word yet on the rest of this X Factor for this important Adam Warlock unlock. And Nebula, for some reason, I thought she was always farmable. They took her off a note. I guess she was so irrelevant of a character that I totally missed that she was unfarmable. But she recently, on her addition to the Infinity Watch team, got some more value. So now you can get some shards for Nebula on Nexus 4-6. But without further ado, let's bring up this list and talk about the number 10 character. And oh, it pains me that this character is so low this month. But boom, it is Mr. Sinister. And a lot of this has to do with usage. Now, one big thing that happened to me over the past month, finished Dark Dimension 4 for the second time, which means I'm not really using Mr. Sinister. Now, if you're not in Dark Dimension 4 yet, Mr. Sinister is probably the MVP of those global nodes, along with Ghost and his clone mechanic is just nothing to sneeze at now. So if we go into the game and take a look at his kit, why he's so valuable, it is basically this skill right here. If you had to pick one T4 for this character, as you've seen, as you can see, I've done all the T4s, but if you had to pick one, it is this clone mechanic, and it did get a little less valuable with Kestrel's introduction, with the ability blocks, and his speed is pretty slow. In this meta of speed and blocking summons and blocking clones, Sinister just lost some value. I was using him in Arena, but the Arena meta has shifted as well. So currently only really using him on war defense and in one of those boss lanes in the mutant lane in the Doom raids. Not up there yet because my X factor is not all Iso-8 class level 5, so he's dropped in my usage, but his value is still very valuable. And as far as the best class, most people have the healer class on him. I do have this skirmisher tag just for that extra focus. I think previously I upped this for a Dark Dimension note and I forgot to switch it back, but as far as what I have on war defense, healer is the way to go. So make sure you unlock or lock those classes for Mr. Sinister, and just cloning is very important, and yeah, but not as valuable after DD4. Now, where you want to get him, unfortunately, is the War Store, one of the most crowded stores in Marvel Strike Force. So yeah, you're gonna have to choose, and he doesn't have a legendary unlock either. So yes, he did fall 9 spots, but yeah, Mr. Sinister still a good character, but yeah, the usage for him, especially in the current meta, has fallen off a bunch. So let's go back to the list and see who is coming in at number 9 this month. And it is his partner in crime, Ghost. And she has fallen for me a little bit as well. I used to use her in a Doom raids, but with these new restrictions for this Iso-8 class level 5, I don't have her at class level 5 on my roster, which means I have not been using her over the past week or so, and still getting through a lot of those tech lanes. So her value diminished a little bit for me, her usage diminished a little bit for me, but just like with Mr. Sinister, very valuable in Dark Dimension 4. And if you are not finished with Dark Dimension 4 yet, especially those global lanes, Ghost is going to add a lot of value to you. And like Sinister, she fell 4 spots this month, and that is unfortunate because she is a very important unlock for Jubilee, whose legendary event is coming back sometime before this Adam Warlock legendary event. Let's go take a look at in-game skills, and she actually has 2 T4s that I think are very valuable. One is this passive that's going to make give her the dodge chance. You're going to get extra health for her and the Pimtech allies, and this one, the Quantum Explosion, which is a percent-based damage, is reduced stealing health from the enemies 15%, and is redistributed to her and the Pimtech allies. And yes, very good character, but I don't know if she's currently necessary in the meta. But if you're not in Dark Dimension 4 yet, start to work on her, especially because she can kind of carry that Jubilee unlock for that for the rest of the Pimtech team. You don't have to invest as much in those characters if you have a pretty decent Ghost. And I have the Striker class on her just to get some extra taps, because she does have a pretty good basic that reduces the speed bar. So good stuff with Ghost. And if you want to farm her, unfortunately, she is in that very crowded War Store along with Sinister and some other valuable characters on this list. But let's get back to the list and see who is coming in at number 8. And this month is a brand new character coming in at number 8. It is Yo-Yo, first time added to the list. Was one of the most valuable characters in the game a long time ago, but like with a lot of the other characters, the meta has kind of shifted, kind of passed her by, but still getting some use in bio lanes, especially personally I'm not using her as much. The reason she got the nod over Ghost and Sinister is because her war offense. I'm using her a lot more in war offense, where I'm not really using Ghost a lot. We're not really using Sinister a lot in today's meta, but I'm using Yo-Yo in war offense. And she is also valuable in some of the raids as well. If you don't have a full symbiote team, if you have symbiote, Spider-Man, Anti-Venom, and Carnage, she could go along with Yo-Yo, or they could go along with Yo-Yo and Black Bolt to make a pretty decent raid team. Let's go take a look at her in-game and see what makes her so valuable. And if you had to pick one T4, it has to be her passive, adding that extra offense down to anybody on the enemy team, as long as it goes through that focus resistance check and you don't have a protector on the team. This basic is also very, very good if you're pairing her with Black Bolt, using her in the raids. Not as great on a full Inhumans team because it could call any Inhuman on there. But yeah, it's very important for the Jubilee unlock. Now, I have the Skirmisher tag on her, and that seems to be the most popular Iso-8 class for her. Although some people do have that Raider class on her, and I think maybe in a full Inhumans team, Raider would work a little better. But when you're just pairing her with Black Bolt, I think that Skirmisher tag works a little better. And if you want to farm her, fortunately, is a very, very friendly place to farm characters, and that is the Raid Store. Now, it is going to use our rotation like the War Store, so you got to get a little lucky for her to pop up, but she is there. She's also in those Raid Orbs as well, so yes, farm Yo-Yo, especially if you don't have that full symbiote unlock and trying to get through some of these bio lanes. Sun just get some of these through some of these Ultima 7 lanes. Does a very good job, and that passive adds a lot of value no matter where you are in the game. But let's go on to the next one on the list. Coming at number 7 is our boy Carnage. We are Carnage, and yes, he is no change. He's actually in this same exact spot. Venom has fallen off the list a little bit, and if I had to pick one symbiote that is farmable, and there's only 2 of them, only Carnage and Venom, excuse me. Carnage, I think, is a little more valuable because of his passive. Overall, Venom has a little better kit, but he's a little slower, and Carnage does add that valuable speed to that full symbiote team. So Carnage gets the nod over Venom. And let's go take a look at Carnage in game and see what makes him so valuable. And it is exactly like I said. It is that passive here that he adds to the full symbiote team. Doesn't add a lot to himself. You know, he will get some speed on enemy kill or enemy speed bar health reduction below that 25% threshold. But if you had to go for one T4, this passive makes it very, very valuable on that full symbiote team. And Skirmisher is the most popular class. That is what I have on Carnage. That is what I'm recommending. And is also important for that Shuri unlock, who is a permanent unlock character now. So as soon as you get some of these Spider-Verse characters, you could unlock that Shuri. So and unfortunately, like a lot of these other characters that were mentioned previously, Carnage is in that very, very crowded War Store. If you have access to Symbiote Spider-Man and Anti-Venom, I would recommend getting Carnage because he adds a lot to this team, and it's just going to make your life a lot easier when you're going through these raids with instead of having a partial symbiote team, having that full symbiote team and getting this passive and getting their speed bar going. Let's go back to the list and see who comes at number 6 this month. It is actually, there's no change for Red Guardian. He's also at number 6 this month, and the reason that he is getting the nod, I'm still using him in that skill lanes of the Doom raids. It's one of the early lanes for me, so didn't need to get him at that full 5-star or that Iso-8 class 5. Need to get class 4 in him, which I already had. And he's the protector right now in the skill lanes. Now, there was a data mine about Sam Wilson version of Captain America also coming, and we'll see what happens with that. And if Sam Wilson comes, his kit looks like his pretty strong. I don't know if it's gonna be stronger than Red Guardian. One thing that Red Guardians offers over every other character except for Drax is that match taunt that he has. So there's even if Sam Wilson is very good, I don't know if he's gonna take his place in the skill lane. Red Guardian is doing everything I need. He offers that protection. So let's go take a look at his kit and see what makes him so valuable. And there's a bunch of different things. As far as T4, I think the best one is gonna be his passive, because what that does is it gives him more max health. Skilled military allies also gain more max health, and then he's going to spawn up with speed up as well to his allies in the skilled military class. As far as Iso-8 recommendations, healer is by far the big choice for most people. Most users on MSF.GG have that healer class equipped on him. And he's also needed for that back to boot camp, that training mat event that recently popped up for the skilled military. Now, there's no indication of how often that is going to be popping up, but seeing how valuable training mats are, how much of a bottleneck, a resource bottleneck that is, yeah, you're gonna want to build this skilled military at some point in the game. Maybe not your first priority as a newer or mid-game player, but at some point you're gonna need training mats. So these guys are gonna be very valuable. And right now he's in the arena store at that increased cost, which I hope he gets moved out to that normal cost, so more people get access to Red Guardian very, very soon, but we will see. We have not had a switch over in the arena orb, the increased cost, and back to the normal cost so far, but I hope it's a one-to-one switch over. Let's go back to the list and see who's coming in at number 5 this month. Boom, it is our girl Night Nurse, falling 1 spot from last month, and nothing really that she's done to make herself fall. It's just the meta has shifted, and there are other characters that I think are a little more valuable than Night Nurse, but Night Nurse is a skill character and pretty much the only skill healer. Nick Fury does a little bit of off healing, but Night Nurse is the one that you want to bring in for the Doom raids for that healing. And her healing extends to a lot of other game modes as well. Important part of that Shadowland team. And let's go take a look at her kit. If we had to pick one big T4 to put into her, I think it is going to be this move. When a character or any Shadowland drops below 50% health, you're going to add defense up to that character, and you're going to fill her speed bar by 30%. This special and this ultimate are also very good, which I've equipped. And that's this ultimate is going to reduce the cooldowns for this. And then with this first aid, the T4 in there, you're going to clear 3 negative effects instead of 2, and you're going to heal, do a little bit more healing. Obviously, because she's a healer and you want to affect that active healing, you want that Iso-8 heal class on Night Nurse. And not that hard of a farm. She's available pretty early on villains 3-9, so as earlier players, you still can get some access to her. And yes, important raid character, important war character. But let's move on with this list and see who's coming in at number 4. Boom, it is Hela, our girl Hela. And if I just had to rate this by usage alone, Hela would have fallen a lot more in line with Ghost and Sinister. But the reason Hela is getting that nod is because of her legendary unlock status, where she unlocks 3. She's the road to 3 legendary characters. One is Phoenix. You could directly unlock Phoenix with Hela because she is a villain mystic controller. She could unlock Black Bolt, being a part of that Asgardian team, and Black Bolt, the rest of Inhumans, including Yo-Yo, can unlock that valuable Ebony Maw. I'm not sure if I mentioned that Ebony Maw unlocked for Yo-Yo, but she is a part of that as well. So Hela is a road to 3 legendary characters. Very, very important in the raids. Now, I like using her in the Mystic section of the Doom raids. There's not a lot of great healers, and while she doesn't heal, she does have Greg, which removes the some turn meter from the enemies every time Greg dies. Also has that big spread where she spreads the negative effects to all enemies, and that is very important in with ability blocks as well. So Hela, while I'm not using her, she is pretty valuable in a lot of different game modes, and I would recommend farming her. If you get to her node on villain 7-6, guys, that is, and you 3-star that thing. For me, that is where I think you cross over from new player to mid-game player, because you are on the road to those 3 legendary characters. But yeah, Hela, Greg, very, very important. If you had to do one T4, it is this Death Knives. That is the most important skill, in my opinion. That is what that spreads the debuffs to the entire team. Big AoE attack, big damage, and spreading everything except for stuns. So it gives a lot of value right there. Yeah, and where I'm using her right now on War on Offense, I'm part of that Hela natural team, countering the Wave 1 Avengers whenever I see them, if I still see them. And then yeah, in the raids, if you have her at class level 5 for Iso-8, she's very valuable. Unfortunately, she does have that controller tag, so losing a little value, because I think there's other controllers that are a little more important for the Doom raids. But after I'm done with the X Factor and everything for the Adam Warlock unlock and the rest of my X-Men, Uncanny X-Men, that's what I'm looking for. When I'm done with them, Hela's probably the first character after that I'm going to go back, the first controller that I'm going to go back and get to this class 5, because yeah, she does offer a lot of value in the Doom raids as well. But yes, let's go back and take a look at the list, see who is on the list this month. And it is that number 3, a brand new character, one of the dad bros, LONGSHOT. And LONGSHOT, as a standalone character, is a good character. But when you pair him with Shatterstar, and just the rest of the dad bros, just that other character, he becomes a totally different character. Their speed, their barrier that they're applying to each other, they make each other better. Their kits synergize with each other, and just does a lot. I'm using him on my Primer Arena team right now, which is why he's so valuable to me. Yes, the valuable War offense character. This X Factor does some amazing things. except against Heroes for Hire. But everyone else, they're looking very, very strong. And raids on that mutant lane, that last node, having the dad bros and then cloning another long shot is very, very fun on that mutant boss node. So yes, adds a lot of value. Let's take a look at his kit and talk about some of the T4s that I highly recommend. And if you had to invest one T4 in each of the dad bros, invest in both of their passives. Some of these other ones are pretty good, increases the damage of their skills. And if you're getting enough use out of these characters, I would recommend the special and the ultimate. But the passive, I think, is a no-brainer to make these dad bros work properly. And as far as Iso-8 classes, I have this skirmisher tag on him right now. Or excuse me, this is the raider tag on him right now. And it does a lot of good stuff. And that is pretty much all the recommendations on msup.gg. Raider for Longshot is the way to go. And if you want to farm him, unfortunately, he's in that very, very crowded war store. Let's move on and talk about number 2. Coming in at number 2 this month, brand new on the list as well, and it is GAMORA. Now, with this one, I kind of broke my own rule because I'm not really using GAMORA a lot, honestly. I'm not using her yet, but by the time the next list rolls around, GAMORA in her empowered state, one of the best characters in the game. Even outside of an Infinity Watch team, as long as you could lose those charges and the match lasts long enough for you to lose those charges, that empowered GAMORA is going to wreck some nerds all over the place. Currently, right now, using her in 4 on some offhanded battles. I think even a 2 or a 3-man team or a 3-person team can kind of hard counter, or not hard counter, but kind of counter the Heroes for Hire. And obviously, when this full Infinity Watch team comes to the game, they should be really able to hard counter everything about this, about that Heroes for Hire team. Also using her in a skill section in the raids, brought her in for fun, and her paired with Kestrel make a great duo in the Doom section of the raids as well. I don't know if it was worth getting all the way up to ISO class 5, but for me, I'm in that earlier section of the skills lanes. So I could survive with just level 4 ISO on her. Let's take a look at her in game. And as far as Iso-8, or as far as T4 recommendations, before we get to the Iso-8, obviously this passive, very, very good. The special is okay. I thought it would do a little more damage, but the special is very good and the basic is very good. Eventually, I'm probably going to do the ultimate just to finish it off when I'm getting more use out of her. But yeah, this is all of these are very good. But I think the passive is the way to go, but the basic special very, very good as well. And as far as Iso-8 recommendations, the most popular Iso-8 class for GAMORA on msf.gg is still the Raider class, but I think the Striker class, especially when pairing her with Nebula, is the way to go for GAMORA. And very, very easy if you don't have GAMORA and want to get that empowered GAMORA. She's available in the Blitz store, where the characters are always available, and it's not that hard to gain that currency. So yeah, grab her. And I think later on she will have that value in Arena, and still not sure about the full value of this Infinity Watch team in Dark Dimension, but I think GAMORA, if you get her to that empowered state, will wreck some nerds in Dark Dimension as well. Let's take a look and see who's the number 1 pick for this month, and it is Zemo. Zemo coming at number 1 again. No change from last month. And yeah, he's in my number 1 arena team, arena defense team. He's on my raid team for the Doom raids in that skill section, and a very, very important part of war on a lot of different hybrid war teams. Let's go take a look at Zemo in game and see what makes him so valuable, what makes him tick right now in the game. And I think if you had to pick one passive, it is one T4, it is the passive. A lot of these characters, the passive seems to be the best skill, because not only do passive increase skills for that character, a lot of times with passive, they don't increase skills for the entire team. But this is a great passive. What it does is it gets the damage to all characters increases by 100%, and that is if he's charged, and you get that charge from that ultimate, and you get it on spawn as well. You're getting speed for self, non-minion Hydra allies, and yeah, 3 positive effects from enemies when you do that big explosion. So makes that ultimate even better. And as far as Iso-8 classes, Raider seems to be the most popular choice on msf.gg. I have Skirmisher on him just for the extra focus. I want that ability block to stick on turn 1, and that is why I have that on there. Now, Zemo, not that hard of a farm, just like Yo-Yo, available in the raid store. So not, you know, you're gonna have to go get some RNG for that character to show up, but yeah, get Zemo. He's gonna be valuable in many, many game modes, and right now is my number 1 MVP for Marvel Strike Force as far as free-to-play fountainable characters. And that is the list, guys. Let me know what you thought of this month's list. Very big shake up to the list. And some of it is based on what I think is going to be happening with this Infinity Watch team. Now, I do want to mention a couple other characters that are on the honorable mention list that I wanted to have on this list. One is Nebula, the other farmable member of this Infinity Watch team, available on Nexus 4-6. Awesome synergy with GAMORA. Venom is available on Nexus 6-6, and yeah, important part of that symbiote team as well. You can make an argument that in some cases, like in the Dark Dimensions, Venom could be a little more valuable, but Carnage got the nod this month. Thanos, still using him all over the place. Maybe not in Arena so much right now, but using him in all these raids, using him on War offense. The Black Order is still a relevant team in War, although Heroes for Hire are starting to kill that. But Thanos is available on Nexus 8-9, and Minerva is available in the War Store, one of the more important healers that I'm still using in the Doom raids. I brought her up to recently to ISO class level 5, so I could bring her into those tech lanes in Doom. And yeah, Minerva, very valuable. That is it, guys. Let me know what you thought of this list. Let me know what your list is. Maybe you're using these characters different than I am. Maybe you're still in Dark Dimension 4 and characters like Sinister, Ghost are very valuable for you. Let me know your list. Let me know your thoughts. And I will see you guys next time. News video tomorrow, stream tomorrow, and hopefully we'll hear some relief from the devs about some of these decisions that hopefully they are working to fix. Some of these recent unfriendly player decisions that they're looking to fix. So hopefully stay tuned for the channel. Check me out on Twitter. Most of the latest news is going to be on Twitter, but yes, subscribe to the channel for more great content. Check out some of the sponsors as well, and I will see you guys next time. Give me a Hulk fist, but before you go, ValleyFlyin out.